You give very little when you give of your possessions. It's when you give of yourself that you are really giving. Oh, how nice. Aliens and their minions here just love to be so, their word is so sweet, their tongue is so sweet, but the actions, oh my god, their behavior, their character is so questionable, so dubious indeed. That you are really giving. It's beautiful to give when asked. It is even more beautiful to give when you are not asked. So why don't you give? You give, but you don't give. It's very nice to ask people to give what you are not able to give, what you don't want to give. And what aliens give, what does Satan's alien give up to now, if not just promises, lies, and shenanigans kind of behavior, chess games. That's what they give. They give nothing really wonderful. I see this world as satanic hell. Give for having only understood Gibran Khalil Gibran or Gibran Khalil. You are so nice. All that you want. Because if I want to be good, I go there and I give and help without have to show nobody, without have to come and make beautiful words that will never become reality. So this one was 12 done. This material come out on 2011, a lot of years ago, many years ago. The Story of Lucifer. Oh, by Rodrigo Romo, the medium of a Brazilian channeler in I don't know, I guess that this man he works for Mago, Dark Magos. He's on the side of the the magic, the salamander, Reptilians, Magos, the one that controls this earth. The comments in parentheses are blah, 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 and what say good I don't want to talk about this. Critical. Thank you for your presence. How did Lucifer penetrate the earthly religion's structure for more than 40,000 years ago? How is it that throughout the history of mankind, several demigods, fake gods, extraterrestrials from various galactic civilizations, the so-called fallen angels, were confused with Lucifer, who in turn was confused with Satan? Oh, wait a minute. Aren't them the same crap? Aren't them the same crap? I thought that they were the same rubbish. Just that they multiply like amoeba. Or the Sumerian sect of Baal. The order of the black dragon appeared in the central region of Orion. He is the son of the queen. They say the queen who created many worlds. This was a matriarchal universe before the Lucifer fight with his own mom for the throne. And then what they end up, he took over his mom. He defeated the mom, his family, and then he came down here to create this quadrant of the world and then create religion system so that the followers will follow. And then he tries to be good, he's the many facets and faces of one single coin. So the so-called in the central region of Orion, the regal star. This star represents the birthplace of the reptilian race. Hey, wait a minute. Is it not Alpha Draconis, the Draconis constellation. How come you say Rigo? Just because they kind of explore other galaxies and other universes doesn't mean that they are original from that place. They come from the black hole. From what I know, they come from the black hole. And then after that they form the Alpha Draconis. Fallen angels were confused. So the so-called fallen angels were confused with Lucifer, with them was confused with Satan or the Sumerian sect of Baal. They are just about the same thing. They're the same family. Come on. The order of the break. Okay, this star represents the best place of the reptilian race. Bluff. They come from the black hole. And they come also from later they created the Alpha Draconis, the Dracos, the reptilian lie, shaped from essential purpose, biological, mental, and emotional, and the worst geological and environmental conditions of existence. So why you follow them? How come you talk bad about them but you follow them for what? If you give this disclosure here, it's because you all follow them. Let's see from the beginning. The co-creator of our local universe, never done. He is the co-creator or the logo. They are called logo. They are co-creator. Doesn't mean that they are the all. The all come from the beyond the antimatter that goes beyond the black hole, the black energy, and it's beyond the antimatter, whereby the all is found, what you all call God. You see, so what happened is that this being is energy. This energy, which has no definition. I'm tired of talking this over and over for years. He doesn't. It's not a he. It has not a gender, nor does it has a definition. So what it created? He created many forms of itself. It creates many forms of itself, including those beings that appointed themselves as creator gods or semi-gods or archetypes of gods. And what they did, it was that they fight among each other for rulership, for ruling wherever they went. They fight among themselves, fight among family. That's why here we have problem if the royal family fighting in the past, killing each other in the east of the planet, fighting each other for the crown. Father killing son, sons killing father, brother killing father for the throne, etc. And that's how it all started. So this being, he fight with his mom and the Orion. She said to be the reptilian queen, from who the reptilian worship. You see, but he is different. He's the what they call. He like to be the black sheep of the family. Literally speak, black sheep because he's dark. He's a black entity. He's the black sheep of the family, and he doesn't want anything to do with his family. He wants to be different. So he fought the matriarchy to create his own universe and then rule. And then he is responsible for the patriarchy, the hierarchy of the patriarchy. He and the other fellows from other quadrants of the universe. And I do not believe that they are human. They are not human at all. You see, there's no sense of saying that aliens are human. This is a big nonsense. I do not believe us. They come from the black hole. They are very different. They are not material, but they can transform in whatever they want to. They got the power of mimicry. They got the abilities to transform themselves in whatever they set eyes on. They are metamorphs, and well, they are not humans at all, as the canalizers around YouTube and other platforms says. She claims these are nonsense. And so that's how it all started. They invade the earth, as already had beings here, and when they come less than 500,000 years in the making of the planet Earth, what he did, he contribute with DNA by manipulating the beings here, because he want a submissive species that also have family ties with him lineage. So he manipulates the DNA of the Homo sapiens 1 to create the Homo sapiens 2, which the bodysuit we use right now, which is called Lanona Deck, Mausedek, something like that. Is a form of high engineering, science, engineering, and cryogeny of reincarnation. Okay, so thanks to all those beings here. This star represents the best place of the black shape, potential purpose, mental. So nonsense. I do follow him. The co-creator of our local universe, Nebadon, is Micah Sananda. Look at the name is Hindu. The name is Hindu, Tamil, or it's Sanskrit. Sananda, Jesus. Oh, and you all worship Jesus, Sananda, Indian man, huh? Great. Also, they say that Jesus is the same as Krishna. See, Krishna, and then I tell you, they are not humans. I'm so sorry to burst the bubble, but the being that you worship are not human at all. So Micah, and I have seen him since I'm tired of saying that. I think I have to repeat again and again and again and again whenever I do such discussion. I have been seeing that being since I was 12 years old. He has been following me, and he doesn't like me. The last time he came to me was 2016, and then from there on, I keep on breaking contract, keep on breaking of contract, and a revocation of contract, and then he left me finally. You see, because he was once a pest. He kept on following me, and he is the same also as the black negro, the magos negros. Okay, astronomy states that our galaxy Milky Way is located in the so-called quadrant of the 21 galaxies, which is considered a zone of free will by the Star Command. Actually, I believe that this Sananda is also Yahweh or Jehovah, alright? And he didn't want to give us any free will. However, another sect, or was Lucifer, whatever, made a deal with the prime creator of this universe, included Earth, because it's not just Earth. Earth's not a universe. Universe means a cluster of many bubbles or planets. It's not just Earth. For those who doesn't know, now you know. Universe not just Earth. Uni means one in Latin, right? Verse means aspect, creation, etc. And they do control the series around this universe, which there is a lot of others parallel similar Earth-like planet around, which inhabited and also dominated by those beings. My castle and the strong tower quadrant is considered a zone of free will, but will star command. So this free will was given to us by, I believe, Lucifer and his team. No, he is not a name. Luciferian is a family of soul, a group of family of soul. You see, Lucifer is not a being, it's not just a name. Is the name of a family of souls from the Draco Saurians. And then they who gave us free will, because the prime creator here didn't want to give us free will, and then they make an accord to allow us free will to see how it will go, how it will become. You see, so it becomes worse, because if free will we get the responsibility and the guilt, and whatever we did, it was not their fault. They will say, okay, I give you free will, because they don't have free will. The other side, there's no such thing as free will. You do as we are told. Even here, we don't have 100% free will. That's a bullshit lie. There's no such thing as 100% free will. Okay? You buy now, you pay later. Mark my words. So he gave us free will. Now he made a code with the prime creator here, the one called Micah, named Jesus, to give us free will. But it came with a price. It was not for free. It wants to be an experiment. And also because whatever they did on the side, we get all the blame. They will put their karma towards us. Okay? Make us take their karma. And the same thing with this lineage nonsense. Because once they create part of themselves, not they create, they didn't create, they just go there and have sex and then procreate. Just like nowadays, all the races all together have sex, making babies. The same thing they did before. That's why some whole scripture says, and he laid with the daughters of man. Some rings a bell. So, and in this quadrant, we look into so-called quadrant. This is considered zone of free will. I do start command. No such thing as free will, alias. In this quadrant, there is a multi-racial and multinational evolutionary proposal. There are others, where all living sons, oh, how touchy, sons, no daughters, only son. How misogynistic is that? Break away the matriarchy and our sons. Where's the daughter? Where's the daughter? Have the right to learn to be co-creator with God. Oh, only you have the right. How about us? We are not also part of the all, or what? We are just some kind of amoeba. In this sense, the higher monads of a major scale. Monads are places of being, places, origin, bubble, where some come from, some species come from, a major scale, which give rise to our higher self. This is story here of the higher self. Why they call it higher self? Higher self means that those beings, once they mix up our DNA with theirs, they they become our higher self. Is it not touchy and beautiful? Oh, that is not to me. I'm so sorry. I find nothing so great about that. And I don't like, I'm not his highest, I'm not his lower self. I'm not your lower self. I'm different. I want to be different. Manifest themselves through a process of incarnation. Oh, how touch. So, in their game, their shenanigans game, or game of nonsense, crap games, chess games, they would create species of creatures, entities, so that they will dominate, and then they will incarnate, put in the incarnational grid, and then fuse in or blow in their DNA, insert their blueprint into it. You see? And then it will become their subordinate. They will become our higher self, our God self. Like some say, oh my God self, my God self. But they don't know who their God self actually are. If they see, they will be running through those souls. Hence the fragmentation of souls. Fragmentation of souls here means that they not contribute, they give away on purpose to better control here the mass. They contribute with their DNA. Manifest themselves through a process of incarnation through the soul. Hence the fragmentation of the souls and the false archetype of the soul mate that we spend our lives searching for and never find one. Yeah, it doesn't exist. It's all nonsense, ridiculous even. So, in this quadrant of the 21 galaxies, ruled by Sananda Jesus, all the cosmic beings of the hierarchy of the archangels, seraphim, cherubim, Elohims, manifested the purpose of creating not one, but several existential prototypes. Sananda's name started to become known, replacing the energy of Jesus, because whenever people remembered Jesus Christ, they remember Jesus crucified. That's nonsense. Never happened. This all drama, so that people have more peace and start to follow this being. Therefore, it was necessary to change this concept to a vision of a happy and affectionate entity. I don't see nothing happy and affectionate about him. I mean, I'm not an evil person. I have done only good, and then he still doesn't like me. That means he's the evil one. But it's the same being, according to writings received by plumbing. What's this plumbing? Nebadon is about 200 billion years old. But how is this possible if astrophysics claims that our universe is only about 15 to 22 billion years old? This value is correct, but it consists the physical. I mean, it's only 15 to 22 billion years old in the physical aspect. Means that the rest are all have been there all the time, but is in the ethereal matter, okay, ethereal form. Palpable manifestation that scientists register using techniques from their physical plane, but that are unable to capture about 90% of the universe material. What's the greatest enigma of astrophysics today? It is that the more than 100 billion galaxies already detected by the Hubble Space Telescope represent only 8-12% of the total mass of the universe. Where's the rest? The rest is invisible. There's no such thing as free space. It's all nonsense, misunderstanding. It's invisible energy. Yeah, of course, which is beyond the physical plane. It's here that the quantum theory of parallel realities emerges. In this way, it becomes understandable the information received by channeling that our universe is about 200 billion years old, because we are dealing with an age not related to the physicality that we perceive, but with spirituality. I'm going to say ghosts or ethereal form, but with the other parallel planes, transdimensional, which is precisely where Shitaria works, who provided me with these dates. See, but after all, how did we get to Lucifer? When these 21 galaxies were structured, each of them received an administrative hierarchy that would manage the penis hierarchy, misogynistic hierarchy, that would manage and productivity in terms of the qualification and the number of souls to be distributed for slavery and for suffering by the evolutionary process. You see, devils tell the truth. The famous archangels were distributed to make the general survey of each galaxy, working with small constellations where the life project would be placed. The hell project, you mean? Got it. The responsibility for the area called Arm of Orion. Orion is what they call Dashbeg. The constellation of Orion was attributed to Lucifer, the 37 archangel below of God Michael. He's not a god, you idiot. He's not a god. I do not see that being as my god. Is that being not my god? No one of them are my god. Is even say that he is the most celebrated archangel of creation. It is function, therefore. No, it was the queen female with a thought that created that, and not him. Its function, therefore, wants to administer and govern the evolutionary process. Oh, evolutionary what? No, my friend. This one was what they call regress. It was not progress, but regress of the species, and that's why we have what we have today. Only nonsense, nonsense, evil people, Luciferian lineage, family souls, crimes, power over, not power within, and so it's all, to me, is called regression and not progression, not evolution. There's no sense. And these beings are not intelligent, they're stupid. And the governed evolutionary processes of all races belong to the spiral arm of Orion. Oh, how great. Oh, that's not to which we belong. Oh, not me, I don't belong to this. I don't belong to any of them. He want to be so boastful, so arrogant, so am I. Anagora is a galaxy next to our Milky Way, located about 3 to 55 million light years, but it has a different rulership. When the cosmic phrase grow and multiply, and bring everything, all the nonsense back to me, all the crimes and the sins back to me, appeared, it was applied to all parts of the universe. Oh, how touch! It fails to impress me. Do you wonder why? I do. Without exception. Then all the beings of the spiritual orders begin to procreate. Spiritual order of malice, evil, stupidity, immorality. Is it to procreate? Oh, touch. The being one. See Shetaria's text. Complement divine. Help yourself, link to yes me. Which is equivalent to Jesus, Michael, Senenda in Anagora is called a Homtek. You see, there's the same nonsense, the same being. He's a being of the order of Duna, of Lano Nadek, who inhabits the 15th dimension of consciousness. So what? I own him anything? I don't own you anything, man. You better stay away from me. I'm not scared of you. And another thing, he's not the blonde man, beautiful blue-eyed. He's a pale yellow skinned man. When I say yellow, he's not white, he's not brown, but he's a yellow man with coarse, dried hair. He, of course, also respects the Father's instruction. Grow and multiply yourselves. Oh, how touchy. Become like a amoeba, become like a cat and multiply. Give birth 10 times a year. Give birth to a litter of 10. And begin to multiply in the galaxy so that you're gonna give them more energy to suck on, which he chooses as his center of procreation. And suck, procreation to suck. The more beans, the better, the more is loose to eat. But he discovered something fantastic, extremely interesting and very profound. He could oh my God, look like the world is an all in my, everything that I think is true. He could feed off his son's emotion. Not only son, you dear, then people have a to water is what? A son now have to water. No, sis. When his son's emotions and perceptions, oh, how touch. He gonna feed on his cockatoed father as not me. Ahotech had discovered an inexhaustible source of food or lush. And this is your darling Jesus, huh? Go pray for Jesus. Go pray, oh Jesus, boys and girls. Source of food, ecstasy, and self-growth. So this was a magnificent and different way of co-creating. This means I put you there. I give you a bit of my DNA because nobody asked his DNA. We have the queen DNA. Didn't need his DNA. He poked his big nose here, and then what? In exchange, he wants some feeding. Go feed in hell. Way of co-creating, growing and evolving. Grow what? Evolve what, idiot? People already were evolved in what they did was that he regressed the people here. He put us all backward. One less neuron and we would crap in the floor like birds. Grow and evolve. And in the beginning, his children. I'm not his children. I'm not your kid, huh? You know, that's why you hate me and I hate you. Always ended it up, return to, oh, I'm not gonna return to you. I'm not your kid, okay? You know that. You hate me and I hate you, your kid. With all the knowledge acquired through the experiences lived during his development. Nobody need development, you idiot. I already born already knowing. I already born developed. Since the real phrase is not grow and multiply, but grow, multiply, and return to me. I don't want to return to him. You all return. I don't. You try making me return to you, you crap. But Archangel Ahomtek start to forget his last part of the sentence, and he stopped allowing his sons to return to the father's house. Oh! Don't tell me. So daddy, in the end, daddy say, no more naughty children here. Finish. The days of the milk cow, the fat cow is over. Now all the naughty children become outside my house. Like that song, the song of the Secrets of the Tree, where they say you cannot go in, the door, the gates locked. The gates locked, you cannot come in. I don't even want to knock there. I'll go somewhere else. Say, hey, please, close the door. I don't want to come in. Close the door. I'll go to another side. Bye bye. Don't come after me. Go to hell, are you? From another Milky Way galaxy. Why? His last part of the sentence stopped allowing his sons or children to return to the father's house. Oh, I don't want to go to your house, Daddy. This is the big difference that separates Anhotak, Anagora galaxy from Sananda Milky Way galaxy. Why? Micah was very clear when he gave this command to all his archangels: go up, multiply, and return to me, so that together we can reach the greatest Father. What? Through you? You yourself cannot go to the God you want people to go through you to get to the absolute God. How? Oh my God! So how ironic is that? The fellow itself cannot get to the black hole, cannot transmute, cannot go beyond the antimatter. The fellow wants people to go to him first before getting to the Father. What a nonsense! Start from you. You yourself cannot get there. You want us to get to you so that you can get to the Father. What a nonsense! Therefore, the co-creators who accept the Christ frequency allow their children to grow, to awaken their conscience, to ascend. Ascend for what? We already ascended. Ascend for what? When you ascend, you screwed up, man. You're gonna get screwed. Just trust me. To merge with the source of the I am. The I am is them, is the dragons. When they come and then they give, they become the logo or the vice. Not say vice. They are the manager of each galaxy. They become the I am self. Why do I am self? Because they, without nobody else, they implant their DNA into that. How to say? Into that planet, galaxies, whatever, and to join in the Christian Mahatma Buddha conscience, so that together they can do cosmic transcendency for the greater spheres. No need, just finish, just stop to exist better. That's the key. But Anhotar found that it could be put off later. Then he began to had races and races, limiting them to the 7th or 8th dimension of consciousness, preventing them from ascending. With this, he created a highly rational society with low intuition, so that the different races could not reach spirituality, thus being trapped in the famous control matrix like ice. That's our prerogative here. Therefore, the control matrix is not from it. It comes from outside. Of course, I know it long time. It's cosmic and thousands of years old. Yeah, almost 500,000, but it's not millions, it's not billions. This is trash come here less than 500,000 years ago. So the beings who are at the service of Hotak's life proposal, not reintegration into the crusty consciousness, believe and act based on what for them is real. Although these little brothers act in a way that for us is undue, are behaving according to what they believe to be the truth, and are believing that we are the ones who are wrong. When you can understand this evolutionary form, it becomes easier to accept the behavior of a non-confederate being not affiliated to the intergalactic confederation. Some as drama like queens and kings, drama kings, nonsense, all this, all kind of gay behavior. So the biblical passage in which the devil tempts Jesus, all bull crap or lies, does not aim to get him out of the way. It's an attempt to prove that the truth of the other, in Hotak, is superior to that of Jesus. It is an intergalactic ideological and political confrontation. Sure, a gay confrontation, a game of power over, a game of shenanigans, a astral chess game. Therefore, the Anagora galaxy has become the existential, administrative, and legal center of these races, largely reptilian, insectoid. Oh, I'm not surprised. Why? I'm not surprised. I knew when any planet goes through the process of geological adaptation, what are the first forms of life that will withstand the weather of geological changes? When any planet goes through the process of geological adaptation or changes, what are the first forms of life that will withstand the weather of geological change? Cockroaches, insects, and then reptiles. Yes, right. That's why these two biological forms of life were chosen on purpose to create the empires of the super races and superpowers. So all those in power are reptilian insectoids. Some others are greys. Reptilians and insectoids have no feelings. Yeah, sure, they are psychopaths, as this is not part of the original genetic matrix. No, they come from the black hole. However, they have enormous intellectual power. For what is a tragedy without moral values? Is a tragedy. This is a fool. They are a fool. A rational mentality 1,000 times superior to that of a human. So what? The IQ of a low-level reptile is around 600, 700. So what? They're stupid. There is therefore no comparison with ours, which hardly reaches 100. Nonsense. A higher level reptilian races reaches an IQ of 2,600. So what? But they have no emotion. Yeah, that's the problem. So what's the greatest difficulty for reptilian? Few. They are governed genetically by logical processes equivalent to the human left hemisphere or the male brain. I see this a lot in many places here in this earth. Many logical people, Many people who see themselves as very logical, they are very like, they lack empathy. Note, a reptile is not a murderer. He is not an evil being. He is only governed by different behavior and rationalization. They are not murder. They are not evil. Unless they are eating children and are doing stupid things here on earth. Therein lies the problem of the prejudice of humans in relation to the bad. And because a bad is a bad, a spade is a spade, a fork is a fork. Cannot be otherwise. Otherwise. An apple is an apple, a banana is a banana. The ethical and moral values of a reptilian are not the same as ours. Well, I'm not surprised, of course not. And now look, we are not a model of ethics and behavior. Of course not. And why? Because some of here are not humans. They just have the body suit of our humans, but they are not humans. All those who are psychopaths, who kills a lot of children's animal, and still laugh, and they feel pleasure. They have orgasm doing evil things. Those are not humans. And I repeat, and I keep repeating, those are not humans. So this idiot here don't know what he's saying. So we have to be careful. No, you have to be careful, because our ethics are very questionable. Because you are not human, you are reptilian. You are reptilian, or you are insectoid, or you are that gray. Once in Brazil, I had contact with an intraterrestrial set of visitors and grays. When I came to talk to them and try to question their behavior, they said, "Who are you to question our behavior?" I would say, "I am a human, better than you in moral values. Because you are a Zeta and you are a Reptilian, so you are worse than I." I'll say that. And those who do what you do are just your family member. They just have the body of our humans, but the soul and the conscience are not humans. You kill for money. Of course they are reptilian, you moron. They are capable of killing their own mother for money. Of course they are reptilian, moron, by self-centeredness. Not me, moron. They are reptilian, grace, moron. They destroy the planet that gives you food. They are reptilian like you, moron. And I hope you are hearing me. You are reptilian and you are gray, or you are insectoid. That's why you do that. Whoever do that is not human. I'm tired of telling this, and I'm gonna tell again and again if necessary. Those are not humans. Those are not humans. Those are not humans. In our society, we don't kill. We respect. Oh, don't kill. No, they don't kill. They just kind of cut off the body and then they kill for science. This is what they do. They don't kill. They just ask others to do. They put into the conscience of the idiots here to kill and get their karma. You know, like they come here as demons. They tempt the people here, the species, and then you kill, and then you rob, and then you rape, and then you get the karma. They won't get any fault. They won't get any blame for it. But you will, because you are a fool. First of all, you may have their DNA. You maybe are their family member. And second, they still come and tempt you, but they don't get the blame. They are very, very slimy. They are very cunning. Very, very cunning. Very, very cunning, malicious. For us, you humans represent a little virus. which is destroying the very planet that feeds you. Of course, because you come here now, contribute to your DNA, you ugly thing. Before I ever fight with them and one Chinese vampire that comes with them in a very big mothership, and they come to ask me what I knew, and back then I didn't knew anything. I didn't know anything that time. I was not very, let's say, very knowledgeable about what I am right now. So they come to me and start to, hello, what do you know? And once I Zita, fatty, shorty, stout, white tea, very cute. And the vampire, the Chinese vampire, long hair covering her ugly face, the hair in a very whitey robe. Come to me, place me there on the panel of the mothership, and then come, what you know? I don't know. What you mean? Yes, what you know? I say, huh? What I know what? Tell me, don't play sides, what do you know? I say, I don't know anything. Okay, you don't know anything. I'm gonna open the bottom of this spacecraft here, and then you go down right to hell, to the underworld. And I can't, oh shit, I say, oh no, that's it. I stand up, I say, you bunch of, then I start to say bad word to them, and I start to get very mad, and I start to shout, and I say that they are not my God, and then I say, to hell with you, because I do not obey you as nothing to me, I'm not my God, I am. When I say that, my chest open up, and then when it open up, it come out a very bright light that touch them, and that light kills them. They start to place their hands on their ears and start to shout, no, stop, and I keep on shout, stop. Then they start to go on a circle on the middle of the craft. They start to go, and I start to how to say, to swirl, start to swirl, going round, and then they disappear into smoke. They themselves went to hell, not me. I sent them to hell. Gonna mess people who are quiet. You see, you don't mess with me. They are capable to kill their own mother, kills love for us. You humans represent a little virus. No, you represent a little virus, you monster, big head, melon head, which is destroying the very planet that feeds you. If we reflect on what they said, we find it to be true. Our society is destroying Mother Earth because they are not human, you stupid Brazilian. We kill ourselves for material goods because they are not humans. We do not respect the life of anyone or anything because they are not humans like you. Therefore, we are in this world, this situation, which will continue until our conscience has been awakened and realigned. Their position is quite interesting, despite being considered non-confederate, but it's only because its ethics is totally different from the Christ concept, the return to the light too. The order of La Nonadec is an order of extraterrestrial cosmic co-creators with the power to co-create in the genetic level. La Nonadec also may include they are Reptilian, they are Dracos. So what's the difference? Who are you to say that they are good? No sense. They are the ancient gods of which all scriptures will speak. They are your gods, not my God, including the Bible. We are in this world situation which will continue as long as our conscience has not been awakened and realigned. No need. We need some other things. We don't need to awaken it. We don't need to realign anymore. That's it. It's not seven purpose. Their position is quite interesting, despite being considered non-confederate, but it's only because the ethics are totally different from the cross concept. I'm the kind of person that I learn by example. I don't learn by people telling me. They have to give. They are on the top, right, the top of the pyramid in power and status. So they should start by giving good example to me. Not I show a good example to them. They should show me good example. Crash concept. The return to the light to the order of Lanonadek is an order of extraterrestrial cosmic creation to the particle general level, genetic level. They are the so no more or less 16.7 billion years ago, in our Milky Way, Lucifer, together with a raging sea of beings of the Lanonadek order, initiates the project of planting life in an astral universe from 4D to 6D, which, with the time and the magnetic instability of the Milky Way, would crystallize at the density levels from 1D to 3D. This, of course, did not happen overnight. It took a few million years. The first forms of life to crystallize in our arm of Orion. The correct name is constellation of Satania or Satanais or Satan, from which the name of Satan was derived. Any insect will know that, which later enters history, or marine forms, insects and reptiles. The reptilian form, which appeared in Orion with about 713 distinct species, began to crystallize physicality as we understand this concept some 14.3 billion years ago. The center of this manifestation occurs in the stars Shaula, Garibi, Spica, and Antares, which is the brightest star in the constellation Scorpio. No wonder Scorpio is not good. I don't like Scorpio. We also have other formation, the constellation of Draco and Ringo, which was the most important point where the great empire of Orion was formed. Basically, the reptilian insectoid shape exists in almost the entire Milky Way as a matter of natural survival. The Milky Way, but not the Earth. The Earth comes much later. That's the Milky Way. That's not the Earth. The Adamic archetype, as we understand it, the human Adam, began to reach our quadrant of the Milky Way at the earthly level about 9.8 billion years ago. Its physical crystallization 3D would all occur 7.4 billion years ago in a star in the constellation Lyra. This star system, very close to the star Vega, 26 light years from Earth, was chosen to manifest the first geneticist experience between humans and reptilians, to form the famous Draco. Is about 50% of the reptilian genetic pattern and 50% of the Adamic genetic pattern. Human, so far, the plan coordinated by Archangel Lucifer went very well. However, in the course of the process, Lucifer asked for help with the administration of his co-creative work in the various star systems of his arm of Orion or constellation of Satania. One of the candidates for this task was the one we know as Satan. A second order, Lanonadek, from the galaxy of Anagora, direct son of Anhota, and their names are all Indian names. Lucifer knew Anhota and knew that this archangel had a different life proposition. But since there was a similar purpose for the group of 21 galaxies, he thought there was no problem in calling Satan, who was against this requisition, Archangel Gabriel. He was the first to realize that it was going to give some little problem, but nobody paid any attention to him because the major plane predicted that in the future, however big the problems, everything would eventually be, no matter how big the problems was, everything would eventually be solved. And this way, cosmically, Satan was allowed to come from the Anagora galaxy to the Milky Way, co-creating Lucifer's service. But who would sign everything that was done? Lucifer. Anybody done below him would be your responsibility. Yes, that's right. So what did Satan do? He came from a co-creation experience in which in his creation between 30 and 50% of negativity in his creation. In this way, Anhota, who fed on his children emotional energy field, created the conditions so that Anagora, they were highly competitive, surrendering to confrontation, competition and survival. Lucifer did not appreciate the small aspect and gave carte blanche to Satan. What's the difference between the two of them? Who began to insert in the sons of Viga, the Dracos, the mixture between humans and reptilians, a genetic composition of competition and confrontation, in the order of almost 60% negativity, giving rise to a highly competitive and warlike society. Thus, the first seed of war was planted in our sector of the galaxy. However, it is not in Vega but in Ringo that the great empire of Orion appears, through the draconian order, with a lower index of negativity, but those by the hand of Satan. When Lucifer realizes what was happening, he recognizes an interesting aspect in this evolutionary proposal. Any soul that incarnated in those races would experience as much as possible its potential for co-creation, for better or for worse, the famous free will. You see, as I said, that was Lucifer who gave free will to the people here, so that anything that happen here would be our blame, and then he will be scot-free. At that time, Lucifer had created by decree in the Orion quadrant the mandatory reincarnation among the different races, which meant that the soul would learn by suffering or not, according to its is what you son. When you give us the configuration, you idiot, you horned cocktoad, according to its choice is perfect. This karmic process would guarantee everyone's evolution at you cocktoad, without losing sight of the crust reintegration. It happens, however, that over time Satan enticed many beings linked to the light. We start to like the story of creating an evolutionary condition where no one else ascended, not crust reintegration, being stuck until the 7D. And doesn't mean only ours, it means up to the 7D they will be stuck up, not upgrade. and be in this forever and ever, this cycle, this vicious samsara, the wheel of samsara, of suffering in the fastidious, tedious kind of life, just surviving, not living, donating the ectoplasm produced in fear, anger, confrontation, suffering, and illusion, where many of today humans are still how to say, stuck thereupon. Yeah, so in the telluric terms, the famous vampires absorb the ectoplasm generated by negative emotions. My negative emotion, I put poison so that he eat poison. It was as a result of this process that an empire began to emerge, that was a faithful corp of an agora, ruled by Archangel Anhota, that once when it got out of his hand by Archangel Honta, that once when it got out of his hand, and Lucifer's big problem started. Good for you, cock-toed, big horned devil, because he had been condescending and conniving with a situation he should have controlled. Very good, but he had bet on the idea that the project would allow a much more refined evolutionary path that the standard existing in other galaxies and other universes. The most interesting thing is that this situation was known to the Council Superior, but he had bet on the idea that the project would allow an evolutionary path much more refined than the pattern existing in other galaxies and other universes. The most interesting thing is that this situation was known to the Superior Council, but he had bet on the idea that this project would allow an evolutionary path much more. The most interesting is that this situation was known to the Council Superior. Melchizedek look like a German word, and the Voronadek Council. Therefore, when people try to crucify Lucifer, there are many more people up there who had accepted the challenge. Not people, amoeba, those are creatures and entities. That's the question. In our quadrant, races with high competitive power are now being formed. When they say races, are races of aliens, as our terrestrial society still demonstrates. Thus, in the course of the evolutionary processes, the powerful astronautical force of that empire appears, and the problem began. What happened to European colonization in the Americas and other parts in the world? Hey, idiot! Europe, Americas once belonged to Europe, you idiot, amoeba, Brazilian amoeba brain. Americas and Europe were once a single continent before the Asiatic were replaced in there. And they have some very kind of people there a long time ago, about 12,000 years ago. There were the giant, that were the very pale whitish creatures there. There was those brown people. There were those one the red hair beings were all there together. And so who are you to say that Europe conquered what, you idiot? You can say yes, conquered the Australia, yeah, South Africa, yeah, long time ago Egypt, yeah, the Romans did, the Greek went there, France went there, the British in India, but they left. They have since left. They no more conquer anything. As for Americans, once belonged to the Latins and the British. Anglos, you idiot Brazilian stupid old men, not old men but idiot Brazilian men. That's the question. In our quadrant race with high competitive power now being formed as our terrestrial society still demonstrates. To the conservation process of power for what happened with European colonization in the American and other art in the world. But they are so stupid that they don't see, he and whoever thinks like him, that they don't see that America is close to Europe than it is to Asian Africa. America is close to Europe and Russia and not to Asia or Africa or Middle East. Is a replica of what happened in the cosmos. The great stellar confrontations beginning, which were described by George Lucas in the Star Wars films. The Order of the Jedi and the Order of the Sith are respectively the Order of the Knights of Metraton, known as the Knights of Maitreya, and the Knights of the Order of the Black Dragon. These people with extra physical powers who dominated incarnational power existed and formed these empires. Then, over thousands and thousands of years, many empires arose and fell. Many wars were fought. Yeah, because of your father dragon, what? Your father did that. Many planetary destruction of the apocalyptic level occurred. However, according to Lucifer's decree, souls continued to be systematically incarnated in the different races in order to evolve. You know, to evolve what? This big cornered cocktoed, he want drama, this gay, this one is gay, and some and beside that he's a eunuch, he is castrated. Then Archangel Michael, supported by the hierarchy of the cosmic fraternities, began to insert the Avatar-Seek project. Archangel Michael, supported by the hierarchy of the cosmic fraternities, begins to insert the Avatar-Seek Avatar project in each of these races, ascended beings from the hierarchy, and all dragons predisposed to incarnate within certain races with the aim of awakening to the cross consciousness. Nonsense, all crap, all lies. Because one be saint, holier than do, but actually the heart were so rotten. Miguel's project and invite several of his followers. Michael started to invite several of his followers to start inserting in these races avatars of the Leonardic order in order to awaken the consciousness of beings through the path of religion. See who invented your darling religion, not the dragons, the big tails and horn and monsters. Now you know, huh? Lucifer is an entity of vibrational level from 60 to 80. I don't damn care what he is, what any bad else is, I don't care. He can be big, I also can be big on the soul level, not so conscience level. My soul may be small, my body is small, maybe meaningless, but my conscience is very, very powerful and big, which never incarnate on any planet. Of course not. This nigga don't want to incarnate in a way. This monster, he's very cunning, he's scared because he's a coward, you know. You monster, you are very coward. You don't dare to come here because you're scared to suffer. Oh, little pussy boy. Look like a little gay girl. On any planet always orbits an archangel. The point is that every planet in Saturnia, or can be Saturn, okay, Saturnus, created by the Reptilian order, had a god called Lucifer to help them and to all their followers here. I feel sometimes that I'm surrounded by Luciferians and devils, and I'm the only one different. Am I crazy? Am I schizophrenic? I don't know. But I would rather be schizophrenic and crazy than to think otherwise and be stupid and be the fool of the court. This is how this archangel's name begins to emerge as a local co-creator, because he was the highest instance of the quadrant. For you, Sarara, man, for you, not for me. For you, not for me. He's nothing to me, nothing that I may not. A parenthesis to say the following: the archangelic hierarchy works on the spiritual aspects of evolution. There was a God called Lucifer, your God, not mine. Your God is not my God. He'll never be. That's why he hates me and I hate him. This is how this archangel name begins to emerge as local co-creator, because he was the highest instance of the quadrant. A parenthesis for archangelic hierarchy works the spiritual aspect of evolution. There was a God. You are playing for my face. You are just trying to make me like an idiot, is it? The hierarchy of Halloween works with atomic molecular stability of the body, including the physical. Big deal. So what? The Lanonadek word Lucifer is responsible for setting the DNA standard which will crystallize the shape. So what? I'm not amused, not the least. I hate all this of material life. It's geneticist, so to speak. So what? So, as a geneticist, Lucifer's role is to be a gay, wants to co-create. Therefore, it was he who signed the documentation related to this project. He is considered the creator God of many planets in our quadrant. He thinks that he is evil. He's supposed to see me, idiot. Because in the consciency of these beings, Lucifer was the author of his biological modes. Therefore, in many of our ancient religions, Atlantis, Lemuria, Atlantis, Sumeria are religions now. I didn't know. One speaks of Baal and Lucifer. That once was Lemuria and Sumeria, you idiot. Lemuria and Sumeria who worshipped Baal, you idiot Brazilian. For all these people, he wants the racial co-creator. For you and your species, not me. I'm not in of you. I'm very, very different. He wants the maximum regency. But let's see other aspects. As each planet evolved and became involved with Lucifer's energetic proposal, the population began to create a hologram of that entity and their consciousness and that of the planet, in the same way that we have a hologram of Jesus crucified. No, not me. You all, not me. From Saint Germain and many other beings we know or hear about, created by our thought forms, by your thought forms, not mine, which project energy capable of forming image in consciousness. Those people are crazy and they have mental disorder and they are schizophrenic. Whoever follows religion are schizophrenic. Also, the peoples of these planets create a hologram of Lucifer according to their beliefs, not their beliefs. This gives rise to a multi-dimensional holograms of Lucifer's consciousness to help Lucifer. Hear me? To help you. I don't listen to you, I don't obey you, and I hate you. Fragmented the religion culture of each of these peoples. This is where the big problem begins. Because why? Because long after the war as a result of the high level of negativity and genetic patterns reached the culmination of destroying 7 or 8 stars. Destroy everything, never mind, with their respective planets and populations. In absolute slaughter, What to expect from this is gay? Is it then that for the first time in the known history of our stellar civilizations, the Intergalactic Confederation intervenes through Shitaria Mikhail, and não sei se all breaks, all this Shitaran, all this Mikhail, all this San Germina, all Dracos, and other superior hierarchy, superior what? Prevent physical confrontation and finally putting order in the situation. In this context, what has been determined? All beings who had violated the first law, you shall not kill. Second law, love your neighbor as yourself. In the third law, respect the free will of others, were enclosed in a great frequency boreal veil and called to their responsibilities, starting the cycle of reincarnation in that seven exile planets, among them Earth. It's a temporary exile, so that started from a new DNA contained the hereditary heredity of the great empires that fought each other, and then if that we acquire what? Karma. If all this strands of different strands of DNA, different soul fragmentation, and a family lineage, all this bring about karma. We write karma, see. And when they say love your neighbor and then respect the will of others, this is what they expect from mother, but they don't do themselves. Like you say, do what I say, never what I do. And this is the trademark of the psychopaths and the dictators that corrupted, them use and dictated that you are permanently in competitiveness. This is how the DNA of terrestrial humans has a hereditary charge of the 22 cosmic rays. 72 or more amoeba, I know better than you, is 72 above, okay, that has hated each other for the reptilian race. Hate each other for religions, political reasons. And I hate you all for all the things that you have done bad in this cosmos. I hate all of you, and nothing gonna change my mindset. Nothing. I just hate all of you, and I don't want you all to touch me my conscience anymore, and send me to any other damned planet, because I don't want. And the right time when I die, you watch out. Wait for me. I'm gonna put bomb and gonna bomb all of your places. If you come and disturb my conscience, you see what's gonna happen to you. I swear I'm gonna do this to all of you once I come up from this body. Gonna be worse. Therefore, as our soul during many incarnations incarnated in the reptilian race, which could not see the human race, it was forced to incarnate as a human. I hate each other for the reptilian race, which could not see the human race. It was forced to incarnate as a human. What? Let me read again. Okay. It's a temporary exile, so that started from a new temporary or temporary. Some even have to suffer for 100 years, or not 100 years. Some suffer for 50 years, some suffer for 20, 30, 40 years, and this is temporary. A new DNA contained the hereditary writing sea of all the great empires that fought each other permanently and permanently and competitiveness. This is how the DNA of terrestrial humans has a hereditary charge of the 22 cosmic races that hated each other for religions, political reasons. Therefore, as our soul during many incarnations incarnated in the reptilian race, which could not see the human race, it was forced to incarnate as a human. That means some of us were reptilians and now we are humans, to better understand and love the human race. But one thing about me, I like human race, and I was not a reptilian, never been, I don't think so. I hate reptilian, so I'm not a reptilian. In other words, in order to put an end to the psychological perception lived in the past of the competitiveness of one race in relation to another, the soul had to incarnate here, keeping the hereditary heritage of all the races that it thought were its enemies. This was the great plan that Lucifer also supported. The truth is that in the beginning it was not known to what extent a soul with DNA negatively manipulated could lead to its evil. At that moment in galactic history, the limit of evil was not known. In fact, it was not even known that evil was unlimited. Therefore, the problem existed because Lucifer bet on a project without being cautious. Lucifer is a careless, messy hole without being properly supported, even legally. Lucifer did not know what could happen. It was anybody's guess. When he addressed Father and asked him, "What's going to happen?" Micah, oh, Micah, your beloved Jesus Ananda is his darling daddy. Oh, he's dead, Lucifer daddy. Oh, great. Micah did not answer. I didn't answer because I had never been down here. Yeah, because our theory is different from practice, huh? Now you know, huh? To talk is this, but being there, that's different, is it? Talk is this. Don't see you all come here to do all this that we are doing here. Micah assumed that the divine soul came from God. As much as he went down here to play duality, being sometimes good and sometimes bad. You see, your Jesus come here and I become sometimes good and sometimes bad. So you see, he was not always good. He would remain in a balanced parameter. Therefore, the imbalance created artificially, genetically, by Satan and his brothers never fits Sananda's head. At least Sananda is clever than these two others as whole. This one is impossible in this way. Lucifer never got an answer from the superior command about what they thought of the he's an idiot. I tell you, Satan and Lucifer is an idiot. Big idiot. And then the stupid here say, oh, they have better IQ than us human. They have 2,000 over IQ, percentage of IQ compared to the human. But they are stupid. And Lucifer has never gotten to superior command, and this lack of communication that Lucifer exposes in his writings. The opponent of the project was Gabriel, because in the long run he realized it was not going to be as easy as imagined. Gabriel was more responsible, so was Sananda in this case. But Lucifer thought it would be enough to place a frequency barrier to limit the process. Nobody imagined that the thing would get where it arrived, and that our genetic limitations would create an emotional atomic bomb. With all those DNA mixing together, all this mixture make us a real atomic bomb about to explode, all those arrays of emotions. Imagine all of us locked here in this room on bread and water. It would not be long before we reached despair. Yeah, It happened in the cosmos. That's why each of us is going through this process, living highly rational and technologically evolved societies that have a low level of spirituality, which is what? A catastrophe. Too much technology without moral value is a catastrophe. We develop emotional and rational perception, and we learn to respect what we take for granted. Therefore, everything was manipulated in a totally undue way by the intermediate hosts, whose members also ended up falling into duality, having to incarnate for having followed unorthodox project, totally inharmonious in relation to the original project of Archangel Michael. Consequently, there was an energetic segregation, and the Christic hierarchies of light orbited up there and others orbited down here. These, however, were not bad. They were not evil beings. They just had different proposals. Each race, from his point of view, was in the reason of what he preached. However, they very often used wars as a means of communicating their values. It was that way of acting that got out of hand. When exile began, the dead 7 planets, who paid the bills? Lucifer. It was when the acting that got off hand. When exile began, the dead 7 planets, who paid the bill? Lucifer, because he was the one who signed up the project. Here on earth, with religion's manipulation, we consider Lucifer to be a great fallen angel. But who was your direct collaborator? Satan, who had been called to earth, who was close to Rodrigo, 700 light years approximately, where the greatest military confrontations had occurred. And there are still stupid idiots who say that there's no such thing as Lucifer, the devil, and Satan. In fact, Satan had already developed some projects, such as the Maldek 3 in Nibiru, which had also not given a very harmonious result. Because he's an idiot, then due to the terrestrial imprisonment of the beings of the 22 races, the religions formed by them are based on Baal and Marduk, the hermetic names of Lucifer. It is in the face of these cultural and religious situations that the beings of the Christic order began to emerge, as Michael postulated to end the satanic situation. Sana Kumara, another Tamil Indian name, for example, come from Venus 18.6 million years ago, founded the famous Blue Fraternity of Venus on Earth that would eventually become the White Earth Brotherhood. With the arrival of this entity, the Earth begins a process of evolution through Christ, confronting the evolution through the pain and terminology of the children of Satan. Thus, a new evolutionary stage of the earth is born, where the negative image of Lucifer as a fallen angel begins to emerge. Humanity, through rituals of black magic offerings, creates an archetype of a 6D false Lucifer, because most of the space beings, fallen or renegade, were from 5D and 60D. Then the 60-dimensional Lucifer Earth holograms emerges, because in fact he was never here, 3D. Satan was imprisoned here, and we confused the two. In this way, on the astral and non-umbral plane. Umbral is a purgatory, okay? A hologram of the devil begins to emerge, formed by us through black magic, not me, which wrongly we give the name of Lucifer and other names, which refer to 3 planets that orbited between Mars and Jupiter. It was destroyed in a nuclear war. Today is the well-known asteroid belt of our solar system. Former extraterrestrial star commanders imprisoned on Earth to go through the incarnational evolutionary process, even in the purgatory, in order to correct the deviation inflicted on humanity through genetic manipulation. This is how the thrones of the purgatory are formed, or hell. What religion tradition calls hell? It was in this process that we separated heaven from earth, on the surface or underground. Therefore, many people are frightened when they hear about extraterrestrials, because they think that any extraterrestrial being is a negative being, but that does not exist. So what emerged from this situation? Umbral empires, or the Hell Empire, began to form more than 450 years ago. Oh, it's just about the time that this script came here, so to speak. The threshold of the Earth and the other 36 planets had 7 downward dimensions, each subdivided into 7 frequencies, totaling 49 levels of threshold, or 49 hells, each of them with a specific regency. It was through these different levels that these negative beings were subdivided. See, hell exists, and sometimes they come here to channelize, and they say hell and Satan and devil doesn't exist. It's all a lie, a bluff. Hell do exist, and you don't have to be afraid, because you don't save that crap. We don't ask for it, and it was not us who created that. In this way, the thrones of the potentates of light control our evolution, and the negative thrones of the umbral control the umbraline evolution, the hell evolution. What a nonsense! And we are in the middle. Therefore, we go up or down depending on our choices and manifestations. We can just explain religions, the occult spiritism, as well as the star command, and the true origin of Lucifer within this whole context. As it has been said, Archangel Lucifer was never on earth, incarnate or imprisoned, being supervised. In an encounter that we had extraphysically, he made me understand that he was frivolous. He was a father who did not know how to put his son in his true place. It was libertine to put a hand on the son's head, Satan. It was a very bold action to put a hand on the son's head, Satan, without knowing what the son was thinking about. Therefore, Lucifer, great flaw was that he was totally convenient and did not care in detail about the process. To hell with hell, this is bastard. That was his biggest flaw. But the devil, as they called him, has already portrayed himself before Sananda, Jesus, and started to work for the great cosmic school of earth. In fact, what happened at the level of the great cosmic game, when the climax of the great cosmic confrontation occurred, and Archangel Michael intervened with his fleet on his own without asking one to order. The chief Michael Sananda Jesus was called as something unprecedented had happened. An archangel intervened in the evolutionary process of the galaxy. That's when the old man decides to take off his glasses, drop his cane, and say, "What's happening?" It was at that moment that Micah realized the magnitude of what it meant to have opened up a space called the universe of free will. That's Jehovah. Jehovah, the commander of this, the self-appointed commander of this universe, of this earth, Jehovah. At that time, Sheraton, who was in his universe called Shinkara, came to bring Mikaho to the co-creation archetype of Shinkara, to ensure a pattern of duality. All have Indian or Japanese name or Arabic name, Arabic, Indian, or Asiatic names. However, to keep the project structured, his pattern of duality under Sharia command has been controlled and had allowed the most 15-22% of negativity and competitiveness in the DNA of those beings. When Sharia learned that Satan and Lucifer would work at much higher rates, Satan and Lucifer would work at much higher rates, he realized that it would be a problem. Then he came to speak to Micah. In fact, Micah never believed anyone's evil. Oh, how ingenious is him, huh? How naive. He could not conceive that the cosmic sun would go so far as to engineer massive destruction. Oh, now you know. I don't know how you appoint yourself on so mighty God, so powerful, and you still don't know that those beings are evil. From the point of view of a cosmic being of that greatness, such a thing has no connection. It makes no sense. It cannot exist. It's like coming to tell someone that their son's a mother, because you are just like them. You are all is the rise of the same sex. It cannot be. I saw him born. How can he be a mother? How naive you are. Jesus, that plane could not conceive that his son would reach that point. When the great his son is a Satan, is a devil. When the great intervention of Michael and other beings occur, a big problem is created because Micah, unconvinced of duality, said, I will go down and physically experience each of these words to know what this duality of that you both talk about. Then Gabriel and Sheraton, who had a heart attack, if you can say so, because never in cosmic history a co-creator of his template had descended to a 3D level with a human biological body. There were no record of that, but Micah said he was going to break the rule, because before creating any sentence he wanted to understand his children. Then an avatar project was created in each of these words. That's how Sananda, Jesus, descended on each of the 37 planets, not just on Earth. The unprecedented factor of this process was that the renegade beings, Anhota, Satan, and his acolytes or his minions never believed that the Father himself came to the physical level, and that biblical passage where Satan goes to the desert to try Jesus. Satan had no idea who that being was. He supposed he was a son of his higher hierarchy, but he never imagined that he was the creator himself. The creator of this galaxy, you mean? On this earth, this earth, not the other universe. So Satan encountered Sananda, already Christ consciousness compared after baptism, meant the breaking of all his paradigms, like us. Jesus lived in the flesh, the great problems of duality of which we complain. So Jesus is who? The Anunnaki king? Because Lucifer and Satan is in key. In Leo could be Lucifer, and then Satan would be in key, of which we complain. But ascended beings have a hard time understanding our material problems. because they vibrate in another four. See at the end of this text what Creon says about same subject. See at least your channel about 70. Octave of energy. That was what happened to my car until Jesus experienced them live. As he was also on the other 6 planets, he was able to understand what was going on. Oh, now he felt what will suffer here. You felt what your darling son did. It was there that Micah created the concept of Operation Rescue. All souls would pass at the cosmic level by dividing the wheat from the and I say it doesn't happen. It doesn't solve. You don't see what the rubbish that you did without exception. Operation Rescue would not be a physical rescue operation, but an energetic release through the conscience of each. And up to now, you don't solve. Oh, you failed. You failed, dude. You failed. You and your darling Satan's sons will rise through conscience because Jesus verified that the cycle of consciential decay were typical when occurred in Atlantis and Lemuria. And why? Because they came here and changed the DNA, you idiot. Because when the Star Commands evacuated the planet, they put people back here sometime later without having learned anything. That's why the project was changed and we will have to raise a warning sea based on the internal processes themselves. For that reason, in harmonic convergence, it was declared that the Earth would not be annihilated in a third world war in a cataclysm, and we believed it would happen. For this reason, the prophecies reached until 1985 or 86, and then they did not come true. If we consider the Gacke's prophecies, California was supposed to have sunk in 1985, but it didn't. Then it went to 87. It didn't sink. All the nonsense, all the rubbish, all the lies. That's all about all this kind of lies that's around here. All about stupid video. Oh, tomorrow, this month is gonna happen this and that. A solar storm is coming. That thing is coming. But nothing really happened. It just go on for eons and eons. All this apocalyptic nonsense that never materialize. They postponed 2003 and they will keep on postpone. They will keep. Now some idiots will say that's gonna be this year. They postponed for 2012. Nothing happened. Now gonna be this year. Nothing gonna happen. Don't worry, But it's still there because the Terra project changed through the divine interference of the Father. In the case of Micah, son and Jesus, those all the cosmic. Oh, he decided. How nice is him? Why he don't end like he ended in the apocalyptic flood? Just all the cosmic archetype of the archangels, Elohim, Seraphim, began to act in the reconstruction of the Earth's electromagnetic mesh to recover our true consciousness that was robbed by you yourselves. That's when I came across the 6D Lucifer holograms that until a year and a half ago I didn't know existed. I know the original Lucifer, but not the 6D hologram formatted by eyes. By you all, not me. I always project myself above 80D. Oh, great. 80D and doesn't know much. So I realized that we are the ones who created the holograms. No, you did, through the religion rituals of our faiths. On the astral plane and telluric. That's how we created the devil. No, the devil is you and all your masters. The devil is you and your master, which never exist. Of course not exist because you are one of them. What? You follow them and then you are one of them. And if the devil don't exist, so does not hell. Then how come he said that hell exists? It doesn't make any sense, this man. We create a hologram with a horn, tail, and a trident in hand. But we forgot that the trident is a scepter of power representative of the Trinity, the Father, Mother, the Son, and the Holy Spirit. It doesn't matter, Sarara man. What important is that they exist and they are not good. They are malicious and they are cruel and they are psychopath. And not a tool of the devil. It's the symbol of Neptune, the Lord of the sea. So what? But for us, what does it symbolize? The fork to stick in your, don't tell me, yeah, in your ass. Really? To stick us in your ass. So it was through religion believed that we create several correlations between Lucifer and some other deities that for us represent the devil. In fact, originally, what were these demons? Space beings who did not respect the maximum laws. And they are demons, nevertheless, still are demons. This, however, does not mean that they are no, they are demons and so are you, because the devil's advocate. It means that they have questionable ethical conduct and conscience. The problem is not them. It's we who, with our fanaticism, created those negative intermediate frequencies. So when, after disincarnate, we manifest ourselves through the mediumistic process, we begin to struggle, to offend, to demand blood. What a lie! To ask for drinks, monk, etc. We create a hologram, and when we discarnate, we embody it, and we are stuck with it. Because they create the possibility, they create the possibility. So as long as our conscience does not wake up, we are stuck, and consequently we vibrate in that energy. Those who come in the form of a dead person is usually demons. They are not the people itself. The people go, the conscience goes to the all. This stupid Brazilian man's lying. You see, what comes is a demon, because they can make a replica. They can take a copy of the dead person. Those are not ghosts. Ghosts can stay 1 week, maximum 1 year, but they do not bother nobody. And right now, especially so right now, they are not allowed to stay here for a long time. So this means what? It means that those who come are not our loved ones, but demons. But this is idiot here, this means a Satanist. That's why he's defending all this doctrine. You know? Just when we manifest mediumship, we demonstrate what we believe to be real. Just like you, it doesn't change. Just like you believe that the devil don't exist, but still talk about them here. It makes you ignorant, stupid, being ironic and inconsistent, right? Say that there is something in hell. Yeah, there is. At least a few years back, at least around 36 or 7 years ago, I went to hell to visit my brother who passed away. It was in 83. My brother had passed away 10 years, because he passed away when I was 8-year-old in 73. He was 21. I was 8-year-old. He passed away in 73. 1 decade later, or 10 years later, he finally was captured and went to hell. And I went there. He called me to go there and see him. He was imprisoned. Yeah, imprisoned. And around them there's a lot of dragon. I saw a lot of dragon. And before that, he was even happier around here, the earth. He was happier while he was here. But still he kept on asking for help, because I don't know, he thought that the other side will be free and better, but no. They take him and they incarcerated him, and he became even more serious and sad the other side. Okay, so it really, at least a long time ago, yeah, it existed. I don't know right now, but I still think that those beings are capable of everything. And I'm gonna tell one thing: if you are stupid, they're gonna climb on your back, not say literally, metaphorically speaking. They do whatever they think they have the right to do to you, not to your body, not this body, not this mind, not this light body, but your conscience as well. Okay, because what's the devil? Return to the devil. What belongs to the conscience returns to the multiverse. So I say, so as long as you consider not to wake up, you are stuck and consequently vibrating the energy. I stop as Sarara, I mean, you are just like you are dark energy. Thus when we manifest mediumship, we demonstrate what we believe to be real. This is the great problem for the schools of magic, Ubanda and Candomblé, which is a Brazilian, Afro-Brazilian kind of doctrine based on magics, and I believe in this devil, orishas, aliens, Ubanda and Candomblé, and their correspondents see all over the world, because they do not work on the Christian concept of light, but on the concept of money. Each one gets there and pays for them to fix their lives. Yeah, all charlatans use this evil, devilish doctrine to make money, for them to using the so-called demonic entities to imprison people in this line of work. The point is that unfortunately many of these people nurture religious concepts and appreciate exchanges with those demons. Yeah, because the devil never do nothing for free from the other plane. And here we return to talking about Lucifer's energy. What does Lucifer mean? Light. He who is made of light. So Lucifer was never fallen angel. Make your mistakes, I agree, but not with the destructive intention that people imagine. Did Satan eat your mistake? What's that? He made, but because it was taught, he did, but because it taught in the context of a different evolutionary pattern. Do you want to see a parallel with humans? Imagine a child who, since he was a child, who attends the military academic school. He will be taught to obey and follow orders. Otherwise, if he doesn't obey, he will get punishment. It grows under this parameter. The superior commanded, I comply. This is what happened with Satan, who was raised in a dictatorial environment. Yeah, those are the Draco culture. They are very dictator. It's very imperative, and it's just like an army. What he did, and once published, was his reality. The primordial evil did not come from him. Started from a series of situations that Enhota created in Anagura. People ask, so Anhota is the devil? Let's say he was a pivot of the situation, generated billions of years ago. Perhaps he did not even know the scope of what was happening and what would result. So, when the reincarnational process was created, we started at the cosmic level to experiment with various races, various evolutionary process to understand what was done in each cycle. We have full memory of this extraterrestrial reincarnational process. Yeah, but once erased from us of incarnation in various races. Well, then when did I meet this famous 6D Lucifer hologram? I was once called to do a job in the Chilean desert, more specifically in the Valley of the Moon, the crater of an extinct volcano at 2,100 meters above sea level. due to the sacrifices made all the time before the arrival of the Spanish, done by the Asiatic tribal people, shamanic Spanish land to collaborate on the job. I faced Lucifer's 60D hologram. As he was attuned to Shateria, it was possible to do what had to be done. In fact, in the past they had used Lucifer's hologram for magic rituals. So in order to free these souls at the hell level, I had to do the liberation and reversion of one of Lucifer's 60 fractals. This fractal was imprisoned and handed over to Shateria and Michael, having been depolarized, and the elemental that has been used to create it was released. And what was the hologram? It was what we used in the past for the work of black magic. Each offering, each killing made in the name of Lucifer and Satan, creating an evil energy hologram, imprisoning all the entities that had died in the name of that. So in order to free these beings, and they say these people are so good, and these people are the victim. Besides they invade our territory, which belongs to the Atlantis, they still bring their evil from elsewhere to the Americas, do ritual work, killing their own children, send their virgin girls for sacrifice, and still they are labeled as the victims and the good ones. Oh yes, alright. I had to depolarize that archetype. Passing have used my physical body. Sitaria, Michael and Shiva did the work. It was interesting because I verified that archetype represented the energies of hatred, anger, and power in the terrestrial holograms of the devil. But a hologram is only afraid of the power you give to it. Being afraid. When you leave the frequency of fear, it has no way of interacting with you. Just give the middle finger and bye bye. Because it's just an illusion. It is if you look at a great caricature of the devil and become afraid. But if you know that is a caricature without any reality, the thing has no way of interacting with your energy. So I'm not scared of enough with this. People who deal with these negative energies interact with an apparent devil. It's your inner devil who enters their line. In this work, despite all the boycotts we had to face to prevent us from reaching the site, we freed 15,700 souls who were inside that extinct volcano. Poor things. Summing up, through our religion's belief, we tellurically fostered the holograms that began to feed on these energies. That's where almost all the ritualistic lines of black magic come in. In the past, we were forced to undergo satanic rituals. It must not have been pleasant at all. Hence, our subconscious fear of the names of Satan and Lucifer. In other words, during the extraterrestrial and terrestrial historic process, we live in stages where religions, dictatorships, created empires through fear and power, and we obviously acquired unpleasant experiences. Hence the phobias and traumas in relation to various religions, deities. That's where our inner devil still exists, but they do exist externally. Don't try to defend your brothers here, okay? They do exist. I worship for it. I have indirectly I have been involved in this nonsense thing, because when I was 13-year-old, 12, 13-year-old, I had the older sister, a time teenager, who was very curious and out of innocency of stupidity, they deal with black magic books. They start to make spells, and then they invoke evil things without know, unconsciously. One was, let's see, one was 18 and another one 19. I was 13. And well, it wasn't enough for me. I have to live a hell than that grange. We live in a grange, and we have to live through hell with all the entities coming at night, making problem, and many other things, terrible things that happen in our family. I've not disclosed here, and that was not the devil of my sisters, but yeah, the devil that they invoked from that book. It really exists, because I paid to see them, and I would fight them with a broom. I was 13 years old, and I have to defend my family. My sisters were older than I and my mother. I have to fight them, and they take it against me very hard. They punish me very hard, but that's okay, because I'm not scared of them. They know me, how willful I am. So so in a sense, you're in a devil, not the other people. Doesn't apply to others. This man is very. He's also fanatic. He talks so much bad about religion, but he himself is a fanatic man who is into all this kind of stuff there, and he defends devil. In other words, the unsuccessful experiences generated an archetype of the devil, which the church calls Lucifer and Satan, and we accepted that dogma. And I say, so why not? Because they exist. So the problem is not Lucifer. No, the problem is you, if not them and you. First of all, they are the reason for all the suffering here, and this idiot man still defends them. This man itself is the Satan. He himself is Satan. Is the son of the devil. Is our information about who the devil is in our lives. That's you. What does this represent in our existence? The fact is that in our incarnational process, we have all had a foot in hell. How does umbral hell work? An idiot, if we did, is not yet our problem, idiot. Not our fault. Is your brother, your father's, the devil problem. Is his fault, is your problem, because you connive with them. Okay? So it's yours and their problem, not mine, not the others. Yes, we went to hell, but so what? Is our problem now? Or is there? Or is yours, because you connive, you supported them, you idiot. It's very simple. It is important to know the universe is governed by vibrations and there comes vibration frequency again. Very old junk excuse. I'm tired of hearing this. So is your frequency decide your ultimate reality. Your energy will decide who you attract to your life. Oh, how's it really? And who invented all this hologram? Me. No, so why should I be concerned and guilty? Why should I be responsible? I take away all my responsibility. I send back to the devil who created this. When we are to disincarnate, the level of frequency at which we find ourselves determines exactly where we will stop after the passage. I understand this very old rubbish thing. I don't buy this, man. This idiot is still low in knowledge, and I step above him, because I know that's not true what he's saying here. It's not your frequency, is not whatever he say, your energy level. is already a hologram created by those devils that he worships. Okay, the hell exists, devil exists, hologram exists, and your job here is to fight all them. Your job here is to be different, try to be different, and then don't listen to them, and don't let them bring you down, don't let them destroy you in every angles, in every level. If we disincarnate with hatred, anger, and resentment towards the situation or person, a hologram is created that crystallizes on the other side. We get stuck here and on the other side, and we enter the hell kingdom, which has several different levels of energy. On the contrary, when we disincarnate, we surrender to God and pass on our washed soul, because we solved everything there was to review during the life. That is, we are calm, we are going to a high standard. No, it doesn't have to be like this, you idiot. Even if you anger, you still your conscience go back to God. What left behind is not what you are. So when the past is highly negative in a heavy situation, he goes to another side of a very low level and will be severed by entities of the same frequency. That's rubbish. The idiot talk about religion, and he thinks just like the religion does, who sees him as a new meat. That person become a slave to the band already existing and their frequency, which is governed by negative entity. You are not this body, idiot. And as soon as you find out that you're not this body, you can get off with it easily. So this highly strongly believe that Lucifer, those dwellers in hell, strongly believe that Lucifer and Satan are the same being, that they are the devil. In fact, the hologram of Lucifer, Satan, one of these beings is essentially, but is fed by us. Lie. It's lie, you idiot. They exist. You are just carry faith with them and a cover up for them. So when someone walks the dark side of the force in a black magic, like you, to harm others, they are feeding beings that vibrate in that energy, that want food, that blood, that corpse to do what was asked of them. So we have both sides, the luminous side and the demonic side, which unfortunately most of us use in the religions of the past. Remember, we came to offer the lives of children to appease the wrath of God. So culturally and religiously, we all made killings because that was permitted by religion's structure. We all, by your devil that you worship, we all develop this dark side due to a religion culture. This too we have to recover in our planetary consciousness, which basically is respect for life, respect for others. It was this lack of respect that triggered major Star Wars. Point it up, this is for you too. Every time what? Becky, what remember aqui? It was this lack. Every time you disrespect life, you create karma. And then you disrespect life when you side with the devil. The devil, Blackie, the devil. Devil exists or not, Blackie? Exists, right? Huh? So each time we create karma when you also connive with those who like to make trouble here on earth, your masters that you worship. Our past meets our present in the essence and the Stella Quantum Leap. Creon says that through the neutralizing plant, we have to free ourselves from the past, from anger, from guilt, from fear. Only open the fear comes from extra physical experiences of past confrontations, something that is stored in the quantum cellular memory. So I needed to understand that in my past, for example, due to a religion racial belief, I thought I had to kill all Dracos because they sucked. Even today in our earthly society, We are at war over religion, social, economics, and military disputes. People are still held by the tail of football teams. So the awakening of conscience says that we have to forgive. But to forgive who? Ourselves. And why do I have to forgive myself? My fears derived from past unsuccessful experiences. I wrote a lot about Lucifer so that we could understand the origin of the lie that was shaped by religious institutions about him. Because you serve him and then he gives you success and money, and now you carry his ball, but it doesn't erase the fact that he is behind all this problem we are having here right now. Okay, and after we die, even, and to hell if you, and to hell if you hell, and all your master. About Satan and about our own participation in these situations when we practiced black magic because religion allowed, not me. I don't remember, I never practiced. It's you who practice, not me. To release the past is simply to understand that we live in institutionalized programs by the religions of the time. But I break free when I realize that this past has strength only when I leverage it. I give it power. The star commands us. It's not because of the past, it's just the present. The present is just crap. It's not about past or future. It's present. The star commanders, the space brothers, Syrians, Pleiadians, Canopians, Martians, Maldekians, Dragilians, Veganians, etc. They all make the same mistake: egocentrism, power struggles, and they are all charging for karma here on earth. Why do you think a gigantic squads of Syrians, Pleiadians, Arcturians, etc. is helping humanity? It's because they are nice? No, they are here waiting for our return. Yeah, because they have, in order to upgrade, they have to help us first if they want to upgrade. Without this mission, they cannot go higher up. The learn we have to deliver to them fruit of our experiences on earth. Most of the space brothers who walk with us on earth are learning through eyes. How? By sensory telemetry. Imagine a person who is Pleiadian. This person has the Pleiadian command attached to him tellurically, monitoring him 24 hours a day. So everything she experiences passes on to them at the sensory level. Conclusion: the entire Pleiadian group will understand the life process on earth. So they expect that person to leave Earth and return to the Pleiades with the experience that they lived here. They are here waiting for our return. Hey, wait a minute. How inconsistent are those people? First say that we're going to hell, to purgatory, etc., and now we are going to where we come from. It doesn't make any sense. Unless he means when we do time in hell, we go to another side. We go into our monad, where our original place. Is that what he means? They are here waiting for a return. The learning we have to deliver to them. The result of our experiences, and my one was terrible. Only saved when I was young in my country. Only my childhood, only my family. The rest was all crap. The last 7 years of my life was hell to me. So I have nothing to produce to them. I have nothing to give back good to them. And anyways, their problem is their fault if I have to go through all this. So I blame you all. Most of the space brothers who work with eyes on earth are learning through eyes. How? But sorry, okay. humanity fear of the dark side, except from chapter 3 on the new beginning. Now let's address what's called the fear of the dark. Here is some information. I'm not scared of the dark. When we pass through so many darkness in life, we are not scared of the dark. That you know intuitively that dark side things just doesn't exist. Throughout the history of humanity in all cultures, humans have related the energy of darkness to another entity, another power, which wishing to accede, does everything to grab and bring them down. Throughout your childhood, you were afraid of the monsters and other entities that were there to grab you. This is a child, man. Don't compare with adulthood for intelligence and honesty's sake, please. Nonsense. Now he is trying to justify the darkness, evil don't not to exist. Means a person who kills another in a very cruel way, a person who kills a child, a person who kills a cat or a dog in a very cruel way. Oh, this person is sane for him. See, he starts saying that he's a sane. It's not the devil who asked them to do so. The cats look at me, the black cat. There are those who try to impose the idea that those who do not think in a certain way will be captured by obscure entities or run the serious risk to be possessed. This is not true, nor has it ever been. It is humans who create the dark side. Lie. All the rape of pedophilia, incest, all this a devilish thing that your master do, and you are just like them. For they have the power of light just as they have the power of darkness. Allow me to be more specific. And some asked the Creon, is it possible for human beings to have a vibration so low that it allows them to create obscurity in another person? And why not? But it comes from the devil. The answer is, of course, it's possible. An example, what happens when they try to find their way to a place near a dark house? Suddenly, the little light that facilitates the movement disappears, and soon you're frozen. Now, see, what if the path you are trying to find is your lifeline? They immediately start to feel afraid. They are unable to move. Suddenly, without light, they begin to ask themselves what something else might be there. They start to hear things. In short, fear begins to possess them. But after all, what happened? Well, the light just went out. You, however, they created the conditions for fear to arise and do its job. Are there humans on the other side able to send you darkness? No, there's not. It's lie, you idiot. It's a devil. How much I hate the Sheraton. Yes, and there were always those who were in a position to do that. Doesn't it seem natural, my dear ones, to be able to choose between darkness and light? Does it make sense that consciousness would be limited if I could only send light? The devil has a forked tongue and they lie, they twist all the lies. Die, finish, we go back to the source, you idiot, Sararamen. We don't have to do all these bad things. Ghosts are just leftover memory. They don't have the power to do any evil to nobody. Those who does a devil, 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 those who does a devil. However, here's what you also need to know. It won't go on much longer. The example I have just said can be horrifying unless someone inside the darkness of their house has additional light. Notice, there is no equality in the shades of light. Each of them is energy itself. You can manifest the who you want, but the one you manifest has its own vibration. A long time ago, we report that the light is active and darkness is passive. The wholes have vastly different energies. So, light is active and darkness is passive. Those who I don't see it in different. No, it's not true. Darkness can be active as well. The wholes have vastly different energies. When you are in dark house and open a door, it's not the darkness that comes out. It is the light that enters. What does this teach about the power of light? Teaches that the highest vibratory themes are more active and more powerful. Teaches that is more sick. You don't eat all the soup. The boogeyman will come and take you. Did you hear? Says the mother. Easy versus generate positive energy. It takes more human to create a low vibration than to create a higher one. Consider a house full of people totally dark. If a light worker arrives, the whole house will lighten up. To those who are afraid of the dark, I will say this. They are afraid because you have not yet understood your power to become a beacon of light. You may be in the darkest situation. You may be surrounded by those who, by the tens and dozens, try to envelop you in darkness. However, a single enlightened human being will nullify all darkness. And do you wonder why we are so excited? It's just that the normal who of the planet during the last few years has simply risen. Since in your linear 3D thinking form, you love to create platforms, we will help you with the following. Collectively, this planet has decided to raise the energy considered normal to another vibration register. That's why you are here today and the network is being adjusted. The difference between darkness and light as well as what is between has received increase like never before, and those who continue to entertain themselves creating obscurity find it increasingly difficult to find places without light. And those who continue to entertain themselves creating obscurity find it increasingly difficult to find places without light. Do you understand this? Any individual entity which has manifested itself through the veil has given you this information. You, dear humans, are able to create any type of vibration. At one time, almost everything had a dark side, so dark that secrets were hidden for centuries. Have you noticed in recent times any difference when it comes to conspiracies and secrets? In fact, none of this can remain hidden for a long time. Do you think that all the revelations you face are just coincidences? Since the higher levels have been opened, secrets and conspiracies are no longer low vibration to hold on. They do not, because you illuminate these lamps with your light. This occurs in politics and business down to the level of the governments of the countries. Now the theme is responsibility. The time of the hidden places is over. What does this tell you about light and dark? What about balance on your planet? Everything that is done in the dark is shown in the morning light. This text can be released free. This adjustment ended in December. Note that it has been happening in Portugal for a few months now, since 2002. There has in fact been an extraordinary increase in the emergency of all kinds of scandals and obscure situations, corruption, pedophilia, illegal drugs network, prostitution, etc. In another direction, but also set in this movement of bringing to light, already in January 2003, the Masonic Lodge of the Grand Orient Lusitano opened its door completely, imagining and presented himself to the Portuguese people. The manifest of national mobilization to help the country's global recovery. In fact, amazing. I remember now, Lord Reiki and Karuna. These things of keeping civil secret, days are numbered. And so is it. Some of these things I accept, some are not. This is being love to throw their karma to other people, and I blame what they do to other people. Anything they do, they don't want to take responsibility. They will throw the responsibility and karma to other species. So I do not believe all of this. And reptilians lie a lot. Usually they are reptilian Rodrigos, and they lie a lot. They mix up lies with truth, and they help those who are in power, those who have money, and now they themselves go against them. You see how false, how fake they are, how they betray people that had put their trust on them. And good for these idiot humans who make secret covenant with them, who make pact with them, who make black magic to ask them for help. And what you get in return? They will expose you in the end, and then they will shift the blame all to you, all of you who are in black magic and satanism, masonry, and obscure occult clubs and groups. You're gonna be exposed soon or not by your own lords, and they claim